let's talk about my favorite travel essentials for someone who travels thousands and thousands of miles every year. And I've traveled hundreds of thousands of miles in just the last few years. So let's get to it and let's talk about this bag. All right, so this is the douchebag DB Journey. They've changed the names a couple times, but I have been a loyalist of this brand for so long. I love their products. The build quality is great. And this is the DB Hugger. I also have the Ramberg, I believe is how you pronounce it. The camera bag, I'll get to that one later. But any great everyday carry or travel essentials video has to have a great backpack or a great bag. And this is by far the best one I've found. This and its brother or sister, should I call it. But these bags are great. The amount of pockets, the amount of utility that you can get out of these, and they just stand up to the test of time. I mean, this bag looks like I got it yesterday, yet I've used it for years, and I've used my other one for even longer. And so just a testament to how great these things are built. And they have the DB system for connecting to other products in the lineup, be it their carry-ons, other bags, their check-in bags and everything. So some people might have Rimowas. I like these even better. Would I like one? I don't know. But DB also has carry-ons, which you can see here. I don't have one of those, but I really would like to get one of those. So shout out to them. If you guys want to partner up on something, let me know. But just fantastic products. I'm not sponsored by any of the brands in this video. These are truly my honest picks for my favorite things I like to travel with, be it long haul international flights or short haul domestic flights. This is kind of what I've come to as my favorite tech, and just little products that make the whole journey more enjoyable, because as we all know, flying is a privilege, but it can sometimes be a hassle. And so I've got different apps, different products in this video to help make that process more fun and a little bit easier, I hope. Getting back to the products. We talked about my favorite bag, but let's talk about something that is not actually tangible. Let's talk about the software that makes traveling a pleasure. So I feel like that should be some kind of slogan for somebody. I don't know, maybe it is. And nothing's original, as they say. But one of my favorite apps by far, thank you, Bird, is Flighty. Flighty, again, not sponsored, but just a fantastic app. Now, there's a lot of people who have different apps that they'd like to use, especially if you're a frequent flyer. You probably have the one that you love, but this is truly one of the best apps out there. It is one of the most comprehensive. I've tried other ones such as Flight Radar 24. That one is great if you just kind of want to check flights around in your airport. But Flighty, as you can see here as I demonstrate, is pretty comprehensive in terms of syncing everything for you, doing so much of the heavy lifting for you. It's super simple, aesthetically very pleasing. So many features have been added in the last few years. So I've said all these nice things, but what does it really do? Well, let's say you book flights, you get the email confirmation, and then those emails get imported into your Flighty, of course, with permission. All the flight details, your seat, the flight number, and then it'll start the magic. And so the magic is it'll put in your calendar, it will track that actual plane, it'll show you all the different stops it has taken in the last 24 hours, if it's getting delayed, the percentage chance that it might get delayed or be on time or be early for your specific flight, based on some AI work that they're doing in the background. It'll give you historical figures. It'll show your exact plane. So every plane has an individual identifier. And with that, they're able to see how old the plane is, how many times you've flown on that exact same plane. I was so surprised to find out that I have flown on the exact same plane before, which I thought, statistically is very unlikely, but it happened. And so just things like that. If you need to get in contact with an airline because of delay, it'll often tell me my flight is delayed or canceled before the airline lets me know. And so I can get ahead of everybody else who's going to a customer service agent or getting on the phone to call and get themselves rebooked. And so that has been invaluable and truly worth the subscription that I pay for it. Now you can do it per flight, per week. You can do it per month, per year, or a lifetime access. I think if you are a frequent flyer, it is worth just getting the lifetime access. It will only get better in the future, of course. And even if you just had the features that it has right now, I love it anyway. So Flighty is a great feature. But let's say you don't care to download a whole another app just to track your flight. Well, there's an app for that. It's called iMessage. If you have an iPhone and you just text someone your flight number, they will actually be able to track your flight live in real time. It'll show them a little map, show them what gate you're arriving at. It'll show you if there's any delays, estimated arrival, all that kind of great stuff. And so you don't even need to download an app for that. I believe this does potentially work on Android as well. That is also a great way to do it. I've been doing this for as long as this feature has been available, whenever I need to get a ride from my family or from friends. So definitely use that little feature whenever you're flying and need to send your flight number to somebody you know. So everything I'm going to talk about is going to be in the link down below. There will be many different products, and they won't all be from the same website. Some might be from Amazon, some might be from their own websites. But again, I have not been sponsored by any of these brands to talk about them. I just wanted to give my opinion on what I think is the best product in each category. So I'm going to cover things such as backpacks, luggage, headphones, miscellaneous things that you might not even have thought of to bring. So let's get right into it. Let's go from small items to larger items. One of the first things I wanted to start with, sorry, I move my hands a lot, is actually the thing I'm holding right now, which is the DJI Mic 2. And so this thing with the receiver that's connected to my phone is incredible. I mean, it is such a large difference when recording video outside, especially with the fuzzy part, often called like a dead cat or whatever, the wind deflector on it. Huge difference. If you are a content creator and you want to make content outside of your nice apartment or your home, this is a must. You've probably seen so many content creators with this mic, but it is for good reason. I was skeptical because of the price. It's about $250 just for the receiver and the mic. There's also a 2-pack that comes with a larger case, but it's so worth it. It's so good. But because I know we can all be on a budget sometimes, like myself, some of the items you will see are not the most expensive, that's for sure. There are also cheaper mics. I mean, just getting a USB-C or a Lightning lavalier mic to increase the quality of your audio, putting a little something like this, a wind deflector on it. If you're vlogging out on top of a mountain, let's say in Sao Paulo, and you want, or well, I guess Rio, and you want to get some good audio even though it's kind of windy, huge difference. So having a mic, if you're a content creator when traveling, is a must, and this is the smallest, best form factor combination. Battery life is great, seamless integration that I've found so far. So if you're going to another country, oftentimes you'll have to use a different power adapter, and this can often be a oversight from someone who might not travel abroad often, or you simply might forget that not everyone uses the same power outlets and power plugs that we do in the United States. So just having a bunch of these little adapters is super useful. So this is the European one, but of course you can get one for UK, for different parts of the world, for Asia, or for Oceania, or let's say even South Africa, right? They might use a different plug. And so just having these, a lot of the world does use this one, which is why I have a bunch of these and I just kind of put them together. But having these is super useful when traveling. Now, I also do have the Apple World Traveler Kit or something, where you can switch out the prongs for your MacBook charger. So I do often use that now, but just for miscellaneous things, this is what you'll need. Now, when it comes to more low-tech items, I wanted to talk about this. It's just a wallet, but it's very special to me because not only does this wallet have Find My, which is greatly important, especially if you lose it or it gets stolen, but it's super slim. So this could be any wallet, but I'm using the Apple wallet. This is the leather one. And so this wallet goes with me everywhere when I'm traveling. So if I don't want to take all of my cards or cash or whatever with me, it's just a quick trip, or I'm in an area where I feel like I just need to bring less with me, then this is what I'll take. Super slim. I can put it into one of the items I'm going to show later, but actually I just tell you right now, the Lululemon pants that have the secret zippers in the pockets. And so you often won't even know that this is in my pocket, but it'll have everything I need: driver's license, credit cards, and maybe a little bit of cash. So just having one of these super slim wallets can be greatly important on your trip. Now, for those times when you just want to have all of your stuff with you, or you have too many cards, or you have more cash than cards, you're in a place where that's more accepted, then I think having a wallet like this is super valuable. So this is just a Coach wallet that I was gifted, but I love it. It's fantastic because I have space for my cards, another easy access pocket here, so there you go, and I have a little zipper pocket. So this zipper pocket is great for putting cash and coins, because in Europe, a lot of places will just prefer cash, or you know, you get a lot of coins, you get those €1 coins, €2 coins. So just having one of these is great. And there's something in here that is the next item, and that is my Amex Platinum card. So this card is vital to my travel experience now. It wasn't before, but it is now, because it's just so great to travel with lounge access now. And with this card, you can get into Centurion lounges, Sky Clubs, which are Delta clubs, if you're flying Delta, and it gives you access to Priority Pass, which is very powerful around the world. So Priority Pass is not as popular in the US. There are clubs, but most of the time you'll either be using a Centurion lounge or a Delta Sky Club. But with the Platinum card getting Priority Pass, you'll often get access to lounges around the world that you might not even think of. I was in Bolivia, in Cochabamba, which is not even the capital city, but there was a lounge there that I could access for free, thanks to this card. So super valuable thing to have when traveling abroad. You might be able to get a meal, get some water, get some drinks, and oftentimes you can even bring some guests. And so that's, again, super valuable. Now, it's not just this card. VentureX will also give you that. Chase Sapphire Reserve will also give you Priority Pass. So definitely just have a card with lounge access. Super important when traveling. Another low-tech item that I want to talk about is this. So not just my passport, but the actual passport holder. So the passport holder, super useful. I say useful a lot, but all this stuff is useful, and that's why we're talking about it. But having one of these is great to just organize your life. So I have a few cards in here. I have my Priority Pass card in here. I have my Global Entry card in here. So that's my Priority Pass card. And then I won't show you my Global Entry card, but that's where this goes. And just being able to have one that has RFID. So this is what it looks like on the inside. Place for my passport, place for some other stuff, international driver's license, stuff like that. Is just great to really organize your life, especially when it kind of gets chaotic. You know, you're all organized, you pack it all great when you leave, but then by the time you get to your destinations, everything's just kind of everywhere, like disorganized. You had been taking stuff in and out, and so just having it all in a good RFID safe little passport holder is vital. There's a bunch of them that are just garbage, not good. They don't do anything. They just kind of make your passport look pretty. I wanted one that was more utilitarian, and so that's what I went with. All right, so to round out the software side of things, let's talk about one that you probably already used but didn't know how powerful it was, which is Google Maps, then another app called TripIt. And we'll talk about some other places to book your actual flight as well. But first, let's start with Google Maps. Google Maps, we all know it as the way you navigate to places that you want to go, but it's actually way more powerful than just that. I use it to create lists of places I want to go to in certain cities. You can customize these lists, add a custom icon to it so you know these are places that I've added. You can share these lists. So if you're going with a group of friends, everyone can be on that list. They can all add their favorite places they've found, be it from TikTok or Instagram or, the place their grandma told them about in Naples, Italy, right? And so it's great for collaboration. It's great for trip planning. and it's really easy to share. It's just super great because you can combine that with the offline maps, because a lot of times when we fly internationally, you might not have phone service in a lot of places, or it might be exorbitantly expensive if you use your American service provider. Now I'll get to an app that I use to get around this, but for now, offline maps are fantastic to use and pretty universally usable around the world. Let's talk about that app that I was mentioning about phone service. So one of those services is called Airlo. Yes, Airlo. And essentially this app, currently just on iPhone, but will work with your phone's eSIM capability, which is electronic SIM card, and allow you to purchase SIM cards. There's a plane going over me. I guess that's what happens when you film in New York, but it'll allow you to put a SIM card on your phone from pretty much any region in the world. You can do it by country, by region, or a whole worldwide SIM card, and you get to choose how much data you want. And so it's really made my process of flying internationally so much easier, because I used to buy SIM cards whenever I would go to a place like Europe, or I would go to Iran, or whatever country it might be. And so just being able to load up a bunch of SIM cards onto my phone super easily, top it off again if I run out of data just from the app, has been such a game changer. It's such a simple little thing, but I use it so frequently now, and it's actually a great app. Super reliable service as well. It uses a lot of the large providers in each country, and you can actually choose between different providers through the app. So let's say if I'm in England, it might be able to use O2 or EE, and then maybe in another country it might be Vodafone or T-Mobile. And so it's just great to have that flexibility and be able to always stay connected, especially when, let's say, you're navigating through Italy driving and you need to use your maps because you forgot to do the offline maps like I just mentioned before. Let me just quickly mention TripIt. TripIt is a great app if you want to get together all your flights, your itineraries, your bookings, all of that together. And going back to the original thing, Flighty works with TripIt, and so it all kind of syncs together, really easy to use. And so all of these things, once you get them all set up and synced up, can make your travel experience just so easy, fluid, simple. Okay, so the next item, power bank. I have gone through so many power banks in my time, and all of them suck. So my first thing is to say, get a phone that has a good battery life and fast charging. So I use iPhone 15 Pro Max. Battery life is good enough. I don't know, everyone says it's really good, but for me, maybe I'm a heavy user, but it just doesn't seem to last as long as some other people. But typically you'll get like 2 days of use out of it, which is great for international travel, because then it won't die on you if you can't charge it. And let's say you're flying from the west coast of the US all the way to Europe, definitely need your phone not to be dead. So there's that. But in terms of power banks, this is the Anker PowerBank. I don't remember the model name of this one specifically, but it does have MagSafe. And so it will magnetically attach to the back of my phone and charge at the same time. Now, it also has a USB-C port on the bottom, which is where you charge it, but also it can charge other devices using that USB-C port. Now, we like to have fun when we travel, right? That's where this comes in. Oops. This is a little portable speaker. So, of course, any will do. There's the ones from Bose, JBL, Bowers & Wilkins, but honestly, this is what I use. I subscribe to the GQ quarterly box, and so you get a lot of cool products in there, and this was one of them. It's a Sudio S3, I believe, and it works great. It's small. The only thing is when I put it in my backpack, sometimes the buttons get pushed on it and it turns on while it's in my backpack. So I just have to make sure I put something around it, like maybe a t-shirt or something when I'm just traveling with it. But it's great. It lasts a very long time on its battery, actually. Charges with USB-C. Oh, by the way, I try to bring just USB-C products with me, because then I only have to bring one cable. We'll get to that later, but yeah, this has USB-C, has, you know, good subwoofer here for the size, but yeah, great little speaker. Not much more to say about that. Definitely have a small portable speaker for when you're in your hotel room at the beach, sitting on a mountain having tapas in Barcelona, you know, whatever you want, it's always good to have one of these with you. By far, the most important thing I bring with me, other than my phone and probably my underwear, are these, my AirPods Pros. They completely changed the game for me when they came out. I got them, you know, the first week they came out back in, what was it, maybe 2019? And I've never looked back. I used to always use large over-ear headphones with noise canceling when traveling, and that was always a pain because when you'd want to sleep on a long flight or something, you'd be on them, you're scared to break them or just damage them, or they come off. It's just not a comfortable experience. I feel like my ears get really warm in those over-ear headphones. It's just cumbersome. It takes up a lot of space in your luggage. Having this, which one lasts quite a while. You can get on a 4 or 5 hour flight, not have to worry about them running out of battery. Now mine are kind of old now, so they don't last as long, but that gets me to my next point. These will definitely last you for a long time because the case will charge them quickly. So I'll put them in there for 10 minutes while I'm maybe having the in-flight meal that they give, and they'll be ready to go again. And so I can go another few hours with them on, no problem. I can sleep with them in. I mean, it's just fantastic. I even put these foam ear tips on them, which makes a huge difference, helps with noise isolation, and the noise canceling just is able to cope with the sounds of the plane and people around you a lot better. While we talk about audio, let's talk about over-ear headphones. I know I just trashed them, but let's talk about it. So as you can see here, I've got 2 pairs of headphones. I got the Sony XM5s, which are very nice and very expensive. And then I have the Beats Studio Pros, the new Beats Studios. Okay, these are the new ones. You see, they don't say studio on them, so you know they're new ones, and I got them in the brown. So what do I think about these pairs of headphones? Well, in terms of travel, I think it is also great to have an over-ear pair of headphones with great noise cancellation. Oh, I almost dropped it. And a headphone jack. So having a headphone jack, very important. Also, both of these have USB-C, so great for charging. But what I like about the Beats is they fold up pretty small and they fit in my bag a lot better, which means I actually don't travel with my Sonys that much anymore. They sound fantastic. The noise canceling is great. They do fold flat like this, but that still kind of takes up a lot of space in my backpack. So if you have more space or you don't care about that, these are great. But I do notice also a little bit that the head strap does cut into my head a little bit, kind of uncomfortable. But my favorites right now are these Beats Studios. They sound fantastic. The noise canceling is really good, especially compared to older generations of the Beats Studios that do have noise canceling. I believe it was the Studio 3s. And they're just great. And of course, with the new Apple chips, they also pair to all my devices very easily. And so having these to be able to watch those in-flight movies on the TV on the seat in front of you is important. A lot of seats are starting to integrate Bluetooth, but until then, these are a necessity and they sound great, and you will be able to, get some rest and not have to listen to the sounds of the airplane. So yeah, I think having a great pair of over-ear headphones, specifically the new Beats, super underrated. These are fantastic. Now this one's a little bit out of left field, but the DJI, is that an Aventador? I see an Aventador down there. I love bringing my DJI Mavic Mini with me whenever I travel because, well, it just takes awesome videos. So when you go to a really cool spot, be it in the Caribbean, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and you're in nature and you want to capture the grand expanse of whatever you're looking at, this is amazing. It's so small, so easy. It literally fits in my pocket. The video quality could be better, especially in low light. It gets pretty grainy, but that's just because I have the Mavic Mini, just the original one, I believe, or the Mavic Mini 2. I got this bundle at Costco, so it did come with a bunch of extra batteries, which also act as a battery bank. So if you don't bring a battery bank and you just have this, you could use this as a battery bank. But this thing is so great. The videos I've taken, I'll have some of them playing, can look fantastic. Even if you're not a content creator, just being able to bring this with you wherever, it's really fun. You can take some great shots and make some great memories. So yeah, definitely bring around a DJI Mavic Mini. By far the best, easiest drone to use and travel with. This is for my readers out there, the Kindle. Okay, I love flying with my Kindle because it helps me sleep. Yeah, whenever I read, I fall asleep. But all jokes aside, it's really great. This is the new Kindle Paperwhite. So it's got the display that can go warmer for those times when you're reading at night and you don't want to get all that blue light. Adjustable brightness, of course, but it's super great, super light, very slim, so it literally fits anywhere in my backpack, so that's not a problem. It's very easy to bring. The battery life lasts months. I never think about charging it. I'll charge it maybe once every 6 months. So it's great. I do like to read when I'm traveling. It's a great way to pass the time, and it's a great excuse to read on a plane because there's not a ton that you can do if you're not working on your laptop. So it's a great time to just sit and read. So I've had this one. I've also had the Kindle Oasis, which is their top model. Well, I guess now replaced by the Scribe, but the Kindle Oasis, which has aluminum. I do like that one quite a bit, but I did break it. I don't break a lot of tech, but that was one thing I broke because I was using it and it says it's waterproof. So I was using it reading in the pool and it just, it got corroded from the inside, and I don't know how because I typically will wash it off with fresh water after, but that, you know, things happen. And I've also had just the regular base model Kindle. I think this one has been, I think it's my favorite right now. I do like having the physical buttons on the Oasis, especially for when it gets wet, but I have no complaints about this one for now. If you find it on sale or used, it's pretty good. Now, something super underrated is if you don't speak a lot of languages like many of us Americans, using AI has now become one of the most powerful tools for international travel. ChatGPT with ChatGPT 4.0, which means ChatGPT 4 Omni, means that you can use a lot of voice in your prompts, and that voice can be in different languages. So you can actually ask it to speak a different language to you, or you speak a language into it and it outputs, let's say, Italian. And then whenever it hears Italian, it'll translate that to English. And you can have a fluid conversation with somebody in a language you do not speak. Let's say, you know, like I speak Spanish, but what if I went to Japan? I wouldn't be able to communicate. And so, well, as effectively as I could. And of course, the best way to communicate is in someone else's primary language, right? And so we can't expect everyone to speak English like we do, so we got to adapt. And we're visiting their country, so it's only right that we try to use their own language. And so, you know, using these tools, also Google Translate with the conversation feature, super effective, super important. Now the ChatGPT will need internet, but the Google Translate app, you can actually download languages offline. Very useful. All right, we're gonna get to the heavy hitters now. So I don't know why I did that whole thing. iPad Pro. The iPad event just happened, so we saw the new M4 iPad Pros, the 13-inch and the 11-inch. This is not that. So this is an iPad Pro from a few years ago. It has the M1 chip, and so you can see here, iPad Pro M1, of course, gotta get space gray with the Magic Keyboard. This Magic Keyboard is fantastic. There are times when I just don't want to bring my laptop. It's kind of heavy. I don't want to bring it maybe because it costs a lot more than this if something were to happen. If I'm just going for a quick couple days, I don't need my laptop. Having an iPad is fantastic. Having movies on here, Apple Pencil for those times when I need to make notes. In college, it was a lot more useful for that. But yeah, I think now I just make thumbnails on here. So I use Procreate if you're curious. But having this is fantastic. It's so slim, you know, it fits in my backpack, no problem. And I can put movies and shows on here and books. So if I didn't even want to take my Kindle, I've got this. So the iPad Pro is great. I will say having the big one, kind of large for tray tables on airplanes. So if you're trying to have your lunch on the plane, you know, let's say it's a long haul flight and they bring you the food, you can't really have this on the tray table at the same time if you're in economy, like myself most of the time. So I would suggest the 11-inch, especially if you are traveling a lot with it. I used to have the 11-inch iPad Pro and I kind of miss it because the form factor was so perfect. So I would go 11-inch iPad Pro. The only thing is with the M1 chip, I've noticed that the battery life is not that great. So just keep that in mind. Maybe go for the one with the Apple Silicon. The Apple Silicon, like the A11 chip or something like that if you want to get a used one, or maybe, you know, splurge on an M4 iPad Pro or just iPad. But these are fantastic, so definitely suggest having an iPad with me. Next to my AirPods and my phone, this is probably the most important thing I bring with me because I'm often either working, when I was in school studying, or now editing videos on this. So this is my MacBook Pro. It is with the M1 Pro chip. I did do a couple upgrades to it. It's got a terabyte of storage. There's no binning of the cores. I got the one that was debinned, I don't know. So it's the maximum version of the M1 Pro chip. There's also an M1 Max. So that's this. I've had it for a few years now, and it is by far the best laptop I've ever had. I've had a lot of computers. I've had computers from Dell, from Asus, HP, other MacBooks before when they were back on Intel. The Intel ones were straight garbage. I mean, they were really bad. I had the 16-inch or 15.4-inch i7, and then later i9 MacBook Pro, and with the touch bar. It was horrible, like straight up horrible. The battery life, really bad. It sounded like a 747, even if you were sitting in a 747, because those fans would crank up, because it would get so dang hot on top of that. I could video edit for maybe an hour on that thing before it died, and it would throttle a bunch. So not great. And then all of a sudden this comes around with Apple Silicon, and it's a totally different story. You know, they add the SD card slot back, they add the HDMI, it's USB-C, it's got MagSafe, it's got a beautiful display, 120 Hertz, ProMotion display, so it's just fantastic. I did put a skin on here. You can find the link to that down below. It's actually a local Utah company that makes these skins, and I just love it. I used to skin everything. The only thing I don't skin now is my iPhone because I love the blue. But yeah, I've customized it a little bit, but I love to put the skins to protect it, because if I ever want to resell or trade it in for a new model, it's in perfect condition and I don't have to worry about that. So yeah, MacBook Pro, super important. Not an Apple fanboy, I just happen to have a lot of Apple products now, and what a few years ago wasn't like that, but they just have hit their stride with this computer. It's fantastic. It's very reliable. I need it to be reliable and fast and very powerful. I can handle anything with this. I really don't find any reason to upgrade because it is just so good. Other than that space black color, it looks really good. This is the suitcase I use. So I recently got this. This is my first hard-shelled suitcase I've ever owned. I've always owned some hand-me-down suitcases, just random suitcases. I've never really bought my own. I found them or borrowed them, and so to finally have my own suitcase is really great. I got this Riccardo suitcase from Costco, and it's been good, honestly. I like having a hard shell suitcase. It has tons of space and lots of zippered pockets. But what's really interesting about this suitcase, if I don't struggle too much here, is that the front of it actually opens up. And so if you want, you could put like your laptop and things in here, but I often don't do that because when you do, it takes up space on the inside. and then it's really hard to get your laptop in and out. So I literally have never used that because one, I have my backpack, and two, it doesn't really work. So I don't understand the functionality of that. It also has a USB port on it, so you could put your own portable power bank in there and charge your phone from the outside, which is cool. I do like these hard shell suitcases. I wish I had a nicer one, but honestly, this works. It was like maybe $50 when I got it on sale at Costco, so pretty great. But I do want to get an aluminum suitcase one day. I think those look fantastic. I think honestly also the soft canvas suitcases are better to just stuff things in, just because these don't really flex much. But if you don't take too much stuff with you, this one is a bit small. This one definitely fits in like European airlines overhead compartments, but in America we can fit a bit bigger carry-ons, so this is a bit small, but I like it. It does the job really well. And yeah, that's really the suitcase that I take with me everywhere now. So another thing to bring with you, a water bottle. When you are flying, especially on those long flights, you will get thirsty, and it's really important to stay hydrated when you're flying, because a lot of times when you're in an airplane, you will get dehydrated from the lack of moisture in the air in the airplane. And if you're on a 10-hour flight, 12-hour flight, you're gonna feel that, and that's kind of what contributes to that jet lag when you arrive at your destination. And so staying hydrated with a water bottle is super important. Now, one of my tricks is often I will bring a water bottle like this. It's just an Owala, a Hydro Flask, whatever it might be. Also be careful that they might, spill a little bit of water when you go up in the air due to the pressurization. But what I might do is I actually take a plastic water bottle. Let's say I finish the water, and then I just I crush it. I bring it, if I don't have a lot of space. I'm often running out of space in my backpack because I bring so many things with me. And when you get in past security, just fill it up. And now you have a whole water bottle full of water, or you could fill it up with iced tea, whatever you desire, right? So just like those little things that you might think are obvious, but we often forget. So please stay hydrated when you're flying. It will help with your jet lag. Another thing to bring with you or use before your journey is a little handheld scale. I don't have it right now with me, but I'll put a picture of it here. But the point is that these handheld scales will help you avoid paying hundreds of dollars and overweight fees for your luggage. Now, I know a lot of us love to bring stuff home when we travel, and this is something that weighs almost nothing, super small, but could save you a bunch of money. So bringing one of these or buying one of these at your destination, super useful. You can just hold it, it'll weigh your luggage. It's got like a 5-pound margin of error, so just keep that in mind. I would say just never fill something past like 45 pounds if you have a 50-pound limit, and you should be okay. And just always leave a little bit of space in your backpack just in case you need to take something out. But that's another item that I really can't live without when I'm doing these big trips. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you subscribe to the channel as we go on this journey together. But thanks again for watching. This has been all the things that I like to bring with me when I travel. As someone who travels quite frequently, usually multiple times a month or a quarter in a year. So anyway, I'll catch you in the next one every Saturday. By the way, I have like a 905-day streak on Duolingo, so if you want to travel, definitely do some Duolingo. It actually works. It helps. So catch me on Duolingo.